Hi everyone, it's Fitz with a post-game walk and talk from here in the studio. Cole Carmody and Zach Carlson were in Stillwater for this game as I've kind of pulled off the road for now. And luckily I didn't see that one in person. That was not pretty at all from the very start of the game. K-State losing at Oklahoma State 29-21. Congratulations to Mike Gundy. He got his team reorganized and focused. We knew they were talented. They just weren't functioning as a team, and Alan Bowman, the quarterback, wasn't playing very well. He was going up against Will Howard, who was pretty damn good last season, and Alan Bowman was clearly the better quarterback on Friday night in Stillwater. Will Howard was not good. Threw 3 interceptions. He wasn't very efficient. He ran the ball well in this game. In fact, he had a 70-yard run that kind of gave K-State some life. But that just didn't seem like it was enough spark for K-State. The Wildcats had 2 possessions late in the game to try to get this game tied up. They'd gone for 2 to kind of maybe put some pressure on Oklahoma State. You know what? I didn't agree with that. I would have just kicked the extra point, taken the points. There were a lot of points left on the field in this game. An opportunity to kick a field goal early in the game where they didn't. And then they missed that extra point, the conversion, and they left themselves down 8, so they needed to score and get a 2-point conversion, and they couldn't even get themselves with 2 possessions in a real threat to score the ball. But let's talk about how K-State just kind of was out-coached in this game, out-schemed. Oklahoma State's really talented. They just haven't been putting it together. They put it together here well enough to win this game, mostly because they found stuff in Joe Klanderman's defense and slant patterns and just kind of took K-State apart, and then the running game got going. Oklahoma State did more damage offensively through schemes than anyone so far this season, and that's including Missouri that, really honestly, Luther Burden just kind of made great plays all over the field. Oklahoma State out-schemed the K-State defense, and that's troubling. Offensively, they were just out of sync. Will Howard reverted to his sophomore self. He didn't look efficient. As I mentioned, he threw those 3 interceptions. A couple of them will hang on him, and another one I wasn't sure if he threw the wrong pass or Phillip Brooks ran the wrong pattern, but that broke down. And what we saw towards the end of the game with his pick was the same thing we saw in the Sugar Bowl with Will Howard. He started to press a little bit and got inexact in his ball placement and got himself in trouble. He did run the ball with efficiency, going over 100 yards in this game, which brings up this question, and I am not, and I want to be clear about this, I am not calling for Avery Johnson to take over the starting quarterback job for K-State. Will Howard has been given that opportunity and earned that opportunity. But if the quarterback run game was working so well, why wouldn't you try some quarterback run game with the actual running quarterback, the guy who can really jet and get out in the open field? I know they probably want to redshirt him, but I feel like you can't not play someone that could help you win. And he could help them win in some cases. They were willing to use him in that situation in Missouri. I argue they didn't use him enough in that situation at Missouri. And then they didn't even use him in this game at all, which I found strange. K-State is now 3-2 on the season, 1-1 in the conference. This redefines everything about this team. Absolutely everything changes with this loss. Now there's a lot of pressure on this team to run the table if they want to guarantee a spot in the Big 12 championship. And that, of course, that would mean beating Texas in Austin. That's a long ways down the road. This team just lost in Stillwater to one of the teams that was most dysfunctional in this conference and let them get back on their feet. Now they're going to go to Lubbock, Texas and play a team that has also been struggling at times this year. And that, in my opinion, has been the better of these 2 teams. Come home, play TCU, Houston, go to Texas. They have to start focusing on each one of these games. I think they did what I've been talking about. And I can talk about it all the time, but they can't do it mentally. They got looking down the road. They started counting their victories. I felt like this team was ill-prepared by the coaches, and the players themselves weren't quite ready to go out there and mix it up with an Oklahoma State team. To their credit, I found lots of motivation from that off week, lots of schemes they worked on that worked. And they were the better team in this game. Oklahoma State wins. Oh, man. 29-21. And K-State now comes home, landing back at the Manhattan airport to lick their wounds over a long weekend because Friday night football did not work out for Chris Kleiman's Kansas State Wildcats.